Awesome. Hey, Abby, thank you so much for being on LinkedIn Live here with me today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, I'm so honored that you asked me to join you, Kelly. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Well, I just have loved following your journey and the way that you pour into the industry. It's been a busy few weeks in DC, but I think I can speak for everyone. I say thank you for being just an incredible ambassador for all of us. And thank you for all of your hard work. And I think we all need to be sending you Dunkin' Donut gift cards at this point.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. It is, I mean, I always say, and I mean it, like I am privileged to have the job that I have. I love the role that I get to play. I do feel like I'm an ambassador. Like I get to go say like interesting things and talk to really impactful people and represent our industry. And it really is an honor. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. And one of the things I think a lot of us really enjoy about you is your openness with your personal life and career and things like that. And I think I was hoping to chat about a little bit today, kind of off the hill, things you've been chatting about all week, last 2 weeks, kind of on different subjects, but what are the habits and the things that you do to maintain balance? I joke about the Dunkin' Donuts, but you have some habits that that you're implementing in your day-to-day life so that you're integrating all those things. I think about that interview where you had said you were like, I'm on hold with the doctor. If they come back on, I'm going to have to take this call. Like, and I really appreciate your transparency. Like I was so in your boat like 3 weeks ago, trying to get a hold of the dentist, and I had one-on-one, and I was like, just so you know, as soon as the dentist like finally picks up, I got to take this call. So it's a lot balancing all the things. So.
It's a lot right there. This sounds obnoxious, but it's actually a member of Congress, but we're going to send them to voicemail because they're not voting on anything right now. They can
but that's
wait.
Our life, right?
That's our life.
Finding that balance.
And also, I'm also waiting for, it's funny, we were talking about like, what can you see in the background? Those are the school forms. Like I'm waiting for the pediatrician to email me back the school forms so I can send them in by the date that's next week so that I can make sure, whatever, you know what that's like.
Yes. It's a lot balancing it all.
What are some of the habits? So it's funny, I drink a ton of Dunkin' Donuts, but I don't drink any caffeine. I'm like 100% decaffeinated. I gave it up my first year of law school and I've never looked back. So I try to take care of myself in that way. I read a ton, like fiction. I read a ton of fiction. I love books.
And Are you a book paperback person or a Kindle person?
Both. So I'm a book person. I've actually have my laptop on 3 books that I've read, right? Sitting here on my desk in my office.
Love it.
So I always have one book and then I always have an Audible. So like when I'm in the car and stuff, and they're not the same. Like I have 2 at all times. They have to be like a different enough of a storyline that I don't get them confused. But I love reading and I love theater and I love sports. So kind of in terms of habits, it's like when I am at work, I am 1,000% at work. And when I am not at work, I try to be 1,000% not at work, right? Like whether it's with my kids or at a show or at a hockey game, like just being present. It's taken me a very, very, very long time to figure out how to do that. And I'm not perfect, but that's my goal.
Yeah. What do you do if you feel like burnout is like creeping in? Like, I feel like that's, as a mom, either like as a mom, I think there's mom burnout and then there's professional burnout. Like, what are your go-tos when you feel like kind of like starting to get a little bit dark?
No, it's a good question. I part of it is I like acknowledge that it's just part of the rhythm, right? Mm-hmm. Like I don't sort of hit the panic button, like, oh no, I'm clearly a terrible mom or I'm clearly a terrible CEO because I'm not feeling energized or interested in what I'm supposed to do next. And sometimes I'm like, all right, is there anything I absolutely have to get done right now? If the answer is no, then I just stop, right? Like, so I'll just go home a little early, or like if I'm traveling, I'll just lay on the bed in the hotel for like 20 minutes, right? Like just not force myself through it if I don't have to, because like life is a lot more like ebbs and flows and ups and downs. And like as humans, some days I wake up like so energized. And some days I wake up like, oh, and it's just part of being
You're
human.
like, I just want to roll over and stay under the covers.
Yeah. What do you do? How do you balance that?
Yeah, it is an ebb and flow. And I think every season is a little bit different, right? You know, I was thinking about, you know, when your mom was going through all the healthcare stuff and, you know, that's hard. And those are the days where you're like, okay, just if I could drink enough water today, you know, like little things, right?
Yeah.
When you're going through like acute stress, sometimes it's just that. I try to walk in the mornings and just even if it's 20 minutes, like 10 minutes, even just of, and I have a couple podcasts that I love to listen to that are not work related, not mom related, that are just like edifying me, you know, and I try to like take that break, you know, and even business travel, I found it really helpful to try to get a walk in the morning, you know, it has been really makes a difference. So
I have a spiritual practice, which I like devote time to every single morning, if I'm on the road or not on the road. And that has been very grounding, right? Like sort of that reminder that no matter how chaotic things get, parenting or working or relationships, that like foundationally and fundamentally everything's fine.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's that moment of, I read a lot too, and I usually have like a business book, a fiction book, and then some kind of like spiritual book that I'm reading through, and so that makes a big difference too. I think having that practice. Yeah.
I just bought this book on a recommendation of I'm also like, I can never sit still. I bought this book on the recommendation of someone the other day. It's called Persuasion. And it's all about, it's about like marketing and advertising. I'm super interested in sort of the stories we tell, right?
Yeah.
Like my job is to be an advocate.
Tell stories. Yeah.
You know, tell stories. Like I feel like there's there's all kinds of research that like the stories we tell ourselves really inform how we perceive the world and the stories we tell our children. And so I haven't started the book yet, but I bought it last weekend. And
I love it.
But when you said business book, I sort of put it in that category of like, you know, how do we like be as persuasive as possible in the stories that I'm telling myself? So I do tend to read some of those.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, one thing that I love that you share a lot about is your career and kind of the roadblocks you've hit and like how you're getting through them. And I think it's interesting because it kind of falls into all these things you're just sharing with us. But like, what are the mindsets or actions like when you're hitting those obstacles in your career? You know, where does your mind go? How do you fight through those moments?
It's definitely evolved as I've like spent more time in my career. Earlier in my career, it was a lot of like, I had to find people that mostly women that I could say, hey, this just happened. Like, does this strike you as odd?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
you need the debrief person.
Yes.
The bounce off the shoulder.
Yes. And the like,
am I crazy?
Am I crazy? Or like, did you notice that? Or did that seem weird to you? So like, I feel like that was one way in which I dealt with that. And as I've grown, I have definitely trusted my own gut more. So there aren't that many times anymore where I'm like, let me run something by you. I'm like, oh yeah, that was so jacked up. Like, I trust my own gut, which I think is a really like important development of this process. But I've also like the more I grow in my career and my own confidence, like I feel like I have a lot more choices about how I'm going to react. Like earlier in my career, when something was challenging or someone spoke over me or like, you know, all those things that happen to us, I felt like I had to react every time and speak up.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I don't really feel that way anymore. Like sometimes I'm just going to let people be exactly who they are and like
it'll work itself out.
It always works itself out 100% of the time. And like that too has been a big growth, right? Not having to like react every time. And then I feel like there is something magical about like space where you can talk about it. I like this high stress time, especially around the reconciliation bill. People have not been their best selves.
Yeah, and, I'm sure. stressful.
Yeah, it's very stressful. And so I feel like, especially in our roles here at a trade association, people tend, like, we hold a lot of people's anxiety and companies' anxiety. And so it has been a lot. And it's been really important to, like, as some of our meetings, I just start by like, okay, like, everyone get it out, right? Like,
you're like the counselor and the
yes.
lobbyist, like, and the CEO, like, all at the same time.
I was joking with a friend last night. I'm also the cheerleader in chief. Like, we got this, guys. We're gonna do it. Like, it's gonna be good. Yeah. Sometimes I think my team is like, oh my gosh, this woman, because I like come in with these like profound statements I read in my spiritual book or whatever, or like someone on Peloton said, or like, you know, something. And I'm like, guys, this is it.
Yeah. Definitely. So it's interesting you made that corollary to like early in your career, because, you know, for me, I really struggled to find a mentor, you know, and I think, you know, finding like that right group of people around you and stuff. And I think, you know, I've learned over the years that it's not necessarily about having like a one person, but it's like the inputs, right? Like, it's like, you know, I'm really protective about notifications on my phone. But Abby's LinkedIn posts are like, I get notifications because you're mentoring me through what you're doing, right? You know what I mean? Like the podcast I listen to, like I've curated kind of mentorship, right, in my life through all these different, you know, the books I read and all that. And I think, but early on in your career, it's so hard, right, to like learn all of that. So what is a mindset thing like for folks to be thinking about? Like I mentor a lot of younger women. So in turn, because it was so hard to find mentorship, I have a cohort I run through of 15 women every quarter and do a mentoring session. So I have a group of gals right now that are all junior. What's the mindset they should be thinking about? Like, and I know this is like cheesy interview question, but like, this is like what's on people's, you know, like, there's so many gals that like want to improve their life, right? Like they really care and they want to excel. And so it's like a cheesy question, but I think like important.
No, it's super important. First of all, like I'm in awe of you and like what you're doing. I think it's so important. And my experience was exactly like yours in terms of like, I thought I had to have like the one mentor that like was in, you know, sparkles and highlights, and that I didn't find it. And I thought I was somehow like failing mentor 101.
Right.
And instead I like got a close group of women, like peers. Like I would say like I looked left and right instead of up. Yeah. And that was super helpful to me. It's funny that you asked that. So I dropped one of my daughters is 21 and she had her first day of her internship today. And I dropped her off at her job. And I was like doing the cheesy like mom thing. And I was like, listen, here's my advice that you didn't ask for. Like, you know, say yes to everything. Right.
I love that. Like,
be inquisitive and figure out your value and how you can help and like make an impression and make connections. You never know you never know like what is going to lead to what. And so to answer your question, I would say, especially to women earlier in their career, like just be open to how things unfold, right? Just say yes. This isn't about like boundaries, right? Obviously, if there's a boundary, don't cross it. But like, sure, I'll try that, or you know, I'll help out here, or I'd love to go on that business trip, or you know, you need some extra research on that issue. Yeah, I'll do it for you. Yeah, just never know, because as now that I'm on this side of my career, I think about like the younger people, newer in their careers that make impressions on me, and they're the people that are inquisitive, creative, and curious about what's happening. Like you can probably see people walking by my door, and when I'm not doing this, it's always open. And like some people never walk in, and there's other people that are like, you know, 6 months out of college, and they just pop in to see how I'm doing. Like,
I love that. Yes. Yeah. That is though. I try to do the like, hey, I'm going to be in town. Like, you want to jump in the car with me? You know, like we're going to, things like that. And it's just like that, like proximity is so important. And it's like, sometimes it's not about the activity, like, right. Like you're researching something and you're like, this could be the most boring thing, but it's like the proximity to getting to know other people that are doing great things is a huge piece of it. Yeah.
And even sometimes if it's proximity and they're not doing, like, you're like, oh, I don't want to do that thing, or I don't want to, like when I was in law practice, there was a woman attorney who was like a couple, like way ahead of me, and you know, she would always say like, oh, Abby, you know, I brought my son to the office every Sunday or every Saturday morning so I could work, and like, you can have it all. And I thought, there's no way that I want that, right? But like, I learned a lot from her.
Right.
I learned a lot from her about what I didn't want my life to look like.
Right. Yeah. That's true. I know. I think it's interesting too, like integrating kids into your life and figuring out that balance of things is, it's like not ever perfect, but it's like finding the corners of it all, you know?
But I think like the seasons, right? Like, as you said, they're sort of, when you have babies is different than when you have kids your age and when you have kids my age, and like they need different things. And I'm a big believer that like whatever time you have being present in that time matters more than like being home every day at 4 but being completely checked out. Maybe I just tell myself that, I don't know, but
no, I'm with you on that. I think it's so true.
Well, and I know for you, like, because I've obviously read your LinkedIn as well, like there are things that you know, in addition to like the parenting that we have to do, like there are things that you do with your daughters that are meaningful to you, right? They're shared experiences. And I definitely have figured out, and I don't know about your kids, but like all 3 of mine, there's different things. Like all one, like everyone has a different thing they do with mom. Which is pretty cool.
I love it. It's been cool to bring my kids along with work too. Like, I think that was interesting. I grew up, my dad was actually an operator in the control center. And so I'd go with him like on the weekend before like cybersecurity and like they locked down control centers. But I'd go to like the Southern California Edison control center on a Saturday and like spend the day at work with my dad. And that was so cool because I like appreciated, like, that's how I learned, oh, this is what an electrical grid is, you know? But my kids are invested in the people that I work with, you know, like they know the voices, like they hear it, like, you know, they're like, oh, so someone on my team's wife's been pregnant and they've been on baby watch with me, you know? And like, it's just like, it's looking at it differently, right? And like figuring out how to like piece it together, you know? So
my oldest daughter is 22, and on last Wednesday, when the reconciliation bill was being hotly contested, she texted me and was like, Mom, how's the big beautiful bill? How's BBB going? All my friends are texting about it. And like, it was cool. I felt so
like full circle moment where her day life was impacted by what you're doing.
Well, it's funny because my kids do not have any notifications about when their mother posts LinkedIn, but their friends tell them like, oh, your mom posted about you this morning, or they'll like send me a screenshot and be like, Mom, like, and they'll ask me a question about it. So it's kind of funny. There's been a couple that I've run by them to make sure, obviously that personally, but also like if I'm trying to say something, like, are you guys, what do you think? Do you think am I saying what I think I'm saying? They're good editors.
That's awesome. I love it. Well, okay, so I have a question for you, kind of like future casting a little bit. I know I love your, I always think about your December review season and like you're prepping for the next year. Like I always like reference back to your thoughts about that. But so we're kind of like second half of 2025, headed into 26. What do you think, like, what's ahead? And this is not like, not Bill related, not Hill related, like, you know what I mean? But like women in renewables, I mean, we could go there, but that was not, but like for women in leadership that are wanting to step in, like, what are you thinking about? What should they be thinking about? Like, I think there's a lot of opportunity, obviously, like the industry is growing, but you know, what are we looking into for kind of finishing out this year into next year? Where should women's minds be that want to be expanding their leadership role?
So I think that's such a great question. And I think like at a time right now where there is a lot of uncertainty in kind of how the market is going to move, it's a fabulous opportunity for creativity. And so I would like highly recommend to anyone, but especially women, is to really embrace that uncertainty and kind of solve like,
Yeah.
and create around it rather than like sit on the sideline and be like, oh, we have to wait and see how things play out, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
we have
I
to
don't like that.
see
Yeah.
how the market responds. Like, no, like go
Yeah.
develop a new product, develop a new financing mechanism, develop a new procurement strategy, develop a new like
Yeah.
way to get customers that you've never done before.
Yeah.
Like now is the moment. And
Yeah.
so that would be my strong advice, is to
Yeah.
embrace the unknown.
Yes.
And also, like, I think we've done a better job of this as an industry, but just putting ourselves like smack in the middle of the energy industry and sort of
Yeah.
embracing that in our language and embracing that in our thinking.
Mhm.
You do that so well with like, you know, how are we managing risk and how are we thinking about running our operations and like how are we being all the things that you do, you know, like
Yeah.
I don't even know. You're much more technical than him. But you know, like we're in this
Yeah.
burgeoning industry. So like
Yep.
let's put ourselves right in the middle of it.
I love that. I mean, we're going to be renewable driven. Like it is going to be this percentage of the load. Like we just like stand there and be excited about it. I feel like sometimes I'm like, let's not be scared. Like let's jump in and what can we offer, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
And like we have to take it, right? Like we have to take it from established energy sources. We have to I mean, it's growing, so there's less taking and more just expanding, but nobody's just going to come and hand it to us.
No.
We got to go earn it and take it and like win customers. Like just I love competition.
It's great. I mean, I love that was like, you know, 7 years ago was the race to like figure out how to get a hedge done in Texas. And now that's like every day, you know, cookies for us. We do that all the time. You know, our industry is so cool in that sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what's the next challenge? Like the next thing. I love that about our industry.
Well, I think this is like only a little bit about the bill, but you know, storage has a very different tax credit structure than solar now. And so I think that, you know, people that figure out how to incorporate storage and like put it at the center of their product offerings are going to have a super competitive advantage.
Yeah. I love it.
So that would be my other advice. Lead into that.
Yeah. And I think from a reliability perspective, storage is amazing. Like it's but I promise not to go too far down the you know, the industry track today, but it's good.
It's a big part of who you are.
It is. Well, Abby, thank you so much. I just you know, I feel like I want to like represent the industry and telling you thank you, because I know it's a lot of late nights. There's a lot going on. You have a lot on your shoulders, and there isn't a better person to be handling all of this. And oh my gosh, to represent us as women in this industry. So I'm just so grateful for all that you do for us and leading the way. So, and thank you for your really precious time today. So
thank you. Your words mean so much to me. I absolutely would love the podcast list. Like, you sound like you've done a great job of curating it. I would love to hear, and I'll share some of my favorites too.
Awesome. I will definitely share those with you.
Good. Well, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, Cassie.
Yeah, thank you.